So, hello, good evening, and welcome to another Sunday Night P0. It is round 4 and the championship, and tonight we head to Singapore. A track full of test for all, so who will get the better of the Singapore Lights we will find out very shortly. Let's get a rundown, since we weren't here last week, of exactly what is happening in the standings. Skarma leading the way in 59 points, but Rob Wells hot on his heel on 57. Leon Evans there in P3 on 50, then we get Lucalas P4 on 45, then Matty P5 on 43, and K-Pax and Shiv tied for 6 and 42, then we have Michelando P8 on 41, Chubby Slug P9 and 40, so only 20 points or 30 points separating the top 10 at the moment. Finn on 10th and 29, then we get Dixie P11 and 28, Arwin P12 and 21, Dale P13 on 17, EOJ P14 and 15, Kristaps P15 on 12, Nuts P16 on 4, Rip P17 on 3, Minam P18 on 1, and then Rory, I think his other one, he would be P20, I think the others may be reserves. Then we have Ferrari leading the way in the Constructors' Championship, but they only have a 2-point advantage to McLaren, who they're at Ferrari on 101, McLaren on 99, and oh my god, it is torrential rain. Then we have Aston Martin in P3. Where has that just gone, chap? There, we've got it back. So it's Aston Martin P3 and 88, Alpine P4 and 69, Alpha Tauri P5 on 65, Red Bull at P6 on 42, Mercedes P7 on 38, Williams P8 on 30, Alfa Romeo P9 on 12, and Haas down there in P10 on 8 constructors points at the moment. So let's get to the chat. Good evening, Rob. Yes, it does not look very pleasant conditions at all. Let's get some data up on the screen. Is that everything? Yeah, I think it is, and of course everybody out in the full width. Let me go, it's going to go blue just for a minute while they're in their outlets chat. Let me do an audio balance, the cars are blowing my ears off. And then we will stay on board. Who is the lead driver? I think it could be EOJ. It's out there in front. So we'll stay with him for now, as everybody starts to filter out for the first runs of the session. I'd like to give you an indication of roughly where the wet running would be at Singapore, but honestly not entirely sure. Maybe somewhere mid to low 50s possibly, but honestly, in these conditions, I mean, that's probably as wet as I've ever seen it at Singapore. That is not pleasant at all. And if the guys need to endure this, Singapore already, even at 50%, is the longest race of the calendar. In wet conditions, you're probably adding another 10-15 minutes onto that, so they could be racing well over an hour tonight if it's wet in the race. So maybe that would end up being a test in itself. Can you keep your composure at such a circuit for such a long time? I guess we will find out in the next 90 minutes. Guys, please, if you haven't as well, please drop a like on the stream and hit the sub button. Every little helps. The poxy little channel. But it's our channel. So, EOJ heading round to start the first hot lap. Looked reasonable enough through the first section of the circuit. Up into turn 5. Then up the back straight. Is that a driver in the eye? I'm not sure. No, I don't think so. No, small bit of overcorrection there. And there's my gain some sort of bit on it, it's just false. You see, in the wet conditions, so much understeering. Here we go. I'm getting this stupid rubbish frame rate. I can't change when I'm on board, so my camera's broken. That's not so good. Oh, and he's lucky now to pick up an invalidation there as EOJ. Oh, and he comes up the back straight. As you get a sector 2 split coming up, it's a 19.5. Who's the McLaren behind? Is that Rob? No, it's Shiv. So where was Rob? Oh, 17.8. So Shiv is way up on the time that EOJ's done. Well, way up in the sector 2 split anyway. Let's see what happens in the last sector, but I think Shiv is going to be the pace setter of our first couple of drivers. Then we have a Haas. It's going to be Minimal Rip coming through, then a Ferrari, and an Aston, and the other Haas. Oh, and he picks up an invalidation, so we'll jump to Shiv, because I think this is the man on the lap as EOJ jumps to the pits. Through the last corner he goes. Can he carry the speed? You see the understeer slowly creep in as you pick up the throttle. It's going to be, it's a 59.2, you see there, nearly a 2-minute lap. It's going to be a slugfest, 30 laps if it's wet. We're talking well over an hour. So who else do we have now? Where's the Haas? It's Minam coming through the last corner. And it's a 59.8, he slots into P2. That's of course because we've only had a couple of times at the moment, so we'll check the other Haas driver. Here comes Rip through the final corner. He's on a valid run. We've had an Aston Martin have a moment, and Rip goes up to 59.3, so it's 1/10 behind Shiv at the moment. Luke Olas got a corner to go. I think he's got a driver ahead and an Alpine. It could be Dixie about to start his first lap. Mika Lando does a 2 minutes dead, 0.6, and Luke Olas now a 58.8. So first driver into the 58s, and there goes Chubby Slug now 58.6. Let's filter back down the order. Where is Liam Evans going to go? Is there a big oversteer moment off the last corner? It's a 59.0. Probably a tenth drop just in that last corner there. The time starting to filter in. Finnegan on a 59.2, and Dixie slots in on a 58.9, 3/10 off a pole position. He's up there in P3. Matty has retired the car off of turn 5. Let's filter down the order. Let's see our championship leader. We'll go on board the Scarlet. He is on a hot lap at the moment, so we'll stay with him. Oh, and he seems to be struggling a bit with the rear of the car. So, a few corners to go. Oh, and Scarmer really struggling. He seems to have really little front end in that Ferrari. I don't know whether that's maybe just tyres not coming up at all. Hopefully they'll have them in a better window for the next run. Who's this catching him massively? That's Rip. And Rip's going into the pits. Just be careful, I think Scarmer's getting just in front. Let's filter down the other Aston Martins. Look at last on another lap. I think he is, but I don't think he's going to improve. There's a big lag spike there as he comes through the last corner. Leon Evans, I don't think he's going to improve any either. Oh, I could be wrong here actually. Oh no, he doesn't quite. He's half a second down. Oh, and somebody there, Finnegan, slots himself up the order. He finds 4/10, and this lap is Dixie. Now goes on to provisional pole. It's a 58.5 for Dixie, and a driver driving with a lot of confidence at the moment. He is in a happy place. There's Mika Lando. How's he getting on? He's matched his first sector. I think in the lap in the wet conditions, though, most of your lap time is going to be made or lost in sector 2 and sector 3, but it's really tricky and technical. looking reasonably tidy. We'll have a split in a couple of corners time with Mika. We'll see if he's up on his lap. He is still pushing on. You see just a nice fluent steering inputs, trying to just get the car to react. You don't want to make fast movements, especially in the wet conditions. Let's see if he's found any time in there. You go, 4/10 of a second up. So if he had a little moment in this last sector, now is going to be the time to gain. He's got an Aston Martin and a little bit of traffic ahead, but it shouldn't cause too much issues. Under the bridge he goes. 4 corners to go for Chris. Well, 3 because the last corner's essentially 1. It's just 1 to go. Has he managed to maintain that 4/10 gap advantage he had at Sector 2's Lukolas now on the provisional pole? Where does Michelando go? He goes up to P10, it's a 59.7, he's put himself right into the mix with the drivers now, but 58.4 for Lukolas. Is Leon Evans now who goes on to provisional pole with a 58.411. So top 2 split by 6/100ths of a second, but it's a 58.0 now for Dixie. He has absolutely stamped a lap time in there, and Rob Bill's only good enough for 2/10 behind, but up to P2 now for Rob. 3rd lap on the tyre, so you'll probably find that's it for the first runs. If it's not going to be wet if it's a wet race, they really do not want to use both wet tyres here. They just want to run one and hope for their best lap. If it's a dry race, we may see people box now and go for a fresh wet. Put a bit more fuel in the car and fuel up and come out for like the last 6 minutes and try and get that day 2 or 3 runs in yet again. And Rob, 10th.5 up Sector 1, so he's still finding time. Finnegan onto the intermediate, that's interesting. And as I say, the rain has actually stopped massively, so maybe Inter's is the tyre now. Rob half a second up in his wet, so that tells me the track is ramping up, so maybe the Inters are going to come in. Half a second, Dixie down. Who's that? Shiv up a little bit as well. Lukolas now goes on to provisional poles at 57.5, and yeah, I think it's time to pit, man. I think it's time to get onto that intermediate tyre. You want to give yourself as much scope and time in the session to use the inter tyre and really feel your way around in the new grip. So if the inter's coming in, you want to box, because guys like Rob and that, if the inter tyre does come in, then they don't really get a run now. It's a 57.0 for Rob, he puts half a second on the pack. Chubby Slug out in the inters, and it's looking not too bad. That's maybe just temperature causing a bit of sliding at the moment. He'll build that up as he heads round on his outlap. Once the temperature comes in, the intermediate tyre is actually a very good tyre. I do enjoy, if it's wet conditions, I'd much rather run the inter than the full wet. Once you get the heat in, it's a fast old tyre. So this is what I was talking about. So Chubby Slug, Finnegan, Dixie, if he gets out in his new inter quite quickly, and Skarma too, these guys will get 2 hits at their interlap. Guys like Rob and that's still only just halfway around the circuit, they're going to be really tight and getting 1 run done. Rip now up to 56.5, and these big improvements now in the wet tyre really tells me that the intermediate is in play. So we'll stay with Chubby Slug. He is the lead man on the tyre, I'm pretty sure of it anyway. Or not, it's Finnegan actually. So let's go, we'll watch Finnegan through the first sector bit. I think that was shown as 3.5 tenths up, even on an outlap on his PB. So, oh, there's a Mercedes round, I'm not quite sure who that was. Leon Evans now down to 55.4. So the track really starting to ramp up now. The lap time's tumbling quite dramatically. So let's see Finnegan sector 1. 1.4 seconds up. So Inters are the tyre to be on. It is very much swung to a bit more grip. Now who capitalises in the change of tyre and who finds the better running. Finnegan going to get a couple of runs, and the only thing is you only get 2 runs in with the energy now on the intermediate tyre because you do use a bit more. So you've got 2 bites at the cherry, and that is that. So how much is Finnegan going to improve by? It's going to be a chunk of time here. 6.4 second gain. He's down to a 52.3, and if that is not a news check for every driver still get that wet weather tyre bolted on, then they really need to get a shift on and get out in that intermediate tyre, because everybody in that W tyre will end up at the back of the grid. Chubby Slug now goes to a 52.9. Of course these guys still got another run in it, so they have a second bite at the cherry. And it was session over for Leon Evans. He is not improving, and I fancy Leon to filter way down the order now. As will Rip. Rob Wells back out. Oh no, no. Don't understand why drivers haven't reacted to the intermediate compound tyre. Is Finnegan up anymore in his second run in his Inter? He's got no energy, so highly unlikely. But let's see. Oh, he is 4/10, so track's still getting better. Where is Dixie in his Inter run? How's he getting on? So 1 corner to go. What is the improvement? Skarma now puts himself up into P2. Finnegan improves to a 51.4, and it's a 51.3 for Dixie. He's on to provisional pole, but the thing is, he's only just turned his ERS on. So let's stay with that. Let's see if Finnegan knows further down the order. What about the guys in the wet weather tyre? Chubby Slug now with 50.7, and I think this is going to be a theme. We're just going to have to hope and find we grab a driver that is on the hot lap. Rockwell's only finds 1.1 seconds on the wet tyre, and I think the wet's just not going to be prevalent anymore. So we'll see as everybody in the Inters really starts to find some time. There's Shiv 4.9 seconds up. As I think we have only a few seconds left. Shiv now to a 50.3. I think Shiv's probably the last driver to get a run now. If you've not crossed the line, the checker flag has fallen on the session. The timer starts at the top of the screen. So that's it for Rip, for Minna and for Dale. But where is the rest of the drivers going to be? Where is Mika Lando? He's just coming through sector 1. We'll try and find his other. Who is furthest up on the circuit? We have an Aston Martin. Is that Luco Lass? Yes, it is. So we'll stay with Luco Lass. Everybody else at the moment behind on the Inter tyre is on a lap. Hopefully they don't succumb to too much traffic, but they are all shuffling down the order. Those that stayed on the wet weather tyre may pay a hefty price by the end of this session. through the last corner goes Nicholas, he nearly invalidates the lap, leaning on there, and it's on to provisional pole. It's a 50.177. So let's filter down the order, let's see who we can next find. Is that Skarma coming up to the last corner? Yes, it is, our championship leader. Can he find the front row of the grid? He's through the last corner now. It's only P3 for Skarma. Where is Dixie? He's coming through the last corner now. Can he snatch pole back? He's looking fastest at 49.7. Dixie now on to provisional pole, but Shiv is still up in his lap. Where is Chubby Slug? He is way down. Mika Lando coming through up to the bridge. I think he's probably our next car at the moment. Oh, is Buckle just ahead actually? Yes, he is. So Buckle, is he up? He's 6.3 up. So Buckle looking to threaten the top 10 here in the lap he's on at the moment, but he should find some more time through the last couple of corners on the Inter. So where is Buckle going to put his Alfa Romeo? It's going to be, it's P8 for Buckle, and we'll filter back down the order. Where did Mika Lando go? He got himself up to P7 as the checker flag falls. Where is Shiv? He's coming round the last corner. Can Shiv challenge for pole? It's not, but it is the front row. It's a 50.0. And where is Rob Wills? I think he may be heading into the pits, and that is it. Dixie on pole by 2.5 tenths of a second. Shiv P2, Lukolas 3, Finnegan 4, Skarma 5, Chubby P6, Mika Lando P7, Buckle P8, K-Pax P9, and Leon Evans rounds out the top 10. What a session. So there is the final classification. Dixie on pole, Shiv P2, Lukolas 3, Finnegan P4, Skarma P5, Chubby Slug P6, Mika Lando P7, Buckle P8, K-Pax P9, and Leon Evans P10. And it's Rip, Rob, EOJ, Minam in P14, Dale P15, and the LBC. In the end, every driver on that wet weather compound paid the ultimate price. The closest driver more than 2 seconds away from those in the Inter, so changing to the most slick compound was the way to go. Oh, Rob forgot to put the Inters on. Oh, did you leave the... Oh, that was one of the... Yeah, that's never ideal. But we've got some out-of-grid drivers, Rob, so in terms of entertainment, it should make the race pretty spicy. So before we get going, I'm going to grab the restroom chat. So, I'm back, chat. So, what are we set for today? Dry conditions, which I think will be much to the delight of most of the drivers. But beyond that, Singapore is usually a tough little track for racing. First lap is a critical lap for all. You just got to get through it. There's some parts of the circuit where side by side is just impossible, and if somebody tries it, they're either gonna crash out the guy they try to go side by side with, or crash themselves out. So that's something to be mindful of. But other than that, just got to get through that first lap clean, and then start to build a rhythm. It is a track where you can overtake at the DRS zones. If you get a good run off the last corner, you can certainly have a go at somebody off the DRS into turn 1, and the DRS at the back straight down into the right hander. It's also a feasible opportunity. So let's get some tyres up and a mixed grid. So Dixie on the hards, Shiv on the mediums and P2, then it's Luco, Lass and Finnegan on the second row, they're both on the hards, then Skarma and Chubby Slug on the third row, Skarma on mediums, Chubby Slug on hard. Then the fourth row is Mika and Bucko. Mika on the mediums, Bucko on the hards. Then it's K-Pax and Leon on the fifth row, K-Pax hards, Leon mediums. Then Rip and Rob on the sixth row, Rip on the hards, Rob on the mediums. Then we've got EOJ on the hards, Minim on the mediums, they're on row 7. And row 8 is Dale and Matty, Dale on the hards. And Matty, the normal early soft runner, he likes the strategy. And to be fair and credit where credit is due, he's a driver that does gain a lot in the soft compound tyre. He knows how to make it work. So, nearing the end of the formation lap, not too far away, and then it will be 31 laps of Singapore for all to endure. It's quite a long race. You really start to feel it, especially when you're at the lap 20-21 mark, where you'd usually be finishing a race, or not quite, maybe 25. You'd usually be finishing a normal league race. You still have another 6 or 7 laps to go at then, which can make it grueling. You just got to keep your head down and focus on your job. And make sure you have a good, clean first lap, and you can build on your race from there. If you do not have that good first lap, then you just heap a lot of pressure on yourself to try and recover. So we'll jump to Matty. He's just off the last corner. And then we will watch him line up and get ready for the P0 Singapore Grand Prix. So Matty takes his place. We'll flick to Dixie on that pole position spot as we have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and the P0 Singapore Grand Prix is away. So who gets the better start? And it seems to be Dixie. He's got a good launch on the hard compound tyre. Shiv seemed to get bogged down a bit. We'll watch from the rear wing as they almost go through. Preston Dixie's been absolutely nailed into turn 1. And that is going to be a monumental effort now to do anything. And I think he's picked up rear wing damage. And that just unnecessary there from Lucolas. You cannot do that at turn 1. And that's going to be race over. But Finnegan leads the way. We've got Skarma in P2, Chubby Slug in P3. I think Shiv paid the price for that as well. Rip up there in P4 in his ass, but he's under pressure now from Mika Lando on his medium compound tyre. They'll go wheel to wheel. Rip will extend track limits. Oh, and Mika Lando now is going to be screaming for that position back. Oh, somebody's hit the wall there, that's an Alfa Romeo, and if they picked up some damage, oh, luckily they've got away with that one. So, Finnegan leads the way, Skarma P2 on his medium compound tyre. And Matty all the way up to P8 on his soft compound, so that tyre working nicely indeed. Small bit of wheel banging there, oh there's a little nudge between the drivers. And ooh, people just driving a little bit aggressively at the moment, bullying their way through corners. You need to try and settle that one down. Finnegan sets the fastest lap of the race. Chubby Slug now putting Skarma under pressure. Down the inside he goes into turn 1, and Chubby Slug's getting after this race now. 2 seconds the gap to Finnegan. Has Chubby Slug got the pace to break the DRS from Skarma? And Skarma just needs to keep his head down. He's leading the championship at this point, so any points in the top 3 are very good points. But if he can use Matt to pull him up onto the back of Finnegan, then so be it. Put himself in that position to maybe challenge for the win later on in the race. No, and I think Matty, did he have a moment there? Here comes Leon Evans up the inside of Matty. We'll do a bit of wheel to wheel, and Leon Evans goes through on his medium compound. And Matty in the next lap or so is really going to start to feel the pressure under that soft compound tyre, because it's not a tyre that holds up very good here at all. Further down the order, how's Shiv recovering? He's up there behind his teammate. I feel for Shiv and Dixie today, both look pacey. Two McLaren still looking tidy. We've got change at the front. Oh, and Chubby Slug's had a moment. He is spun round. Could that trigger a VSC? I think the damage is far enough offline, but he'll need to pit there and in for a new wing. He can go medium from here. It's not so bad. He's just got to keep his head down now and focus on the job in hand. So will Shiv want to go through and his teammate? They're slowly starting to drop this P6 group. And there is some team orders there, so a smart play there from McLaren. I think that is the right move. Shiv can then maybe aid Rob a bit in pulling him up the road. So clever tactics, especially after Shiv's poor start. Of course, through no fault of his own, not to do with him. And Shiv very much a man on a mission at the moment. The boy is driving with a bit between his teeth and very much taking his teammate with him. Dixie coming through as well. So they are two that I've got a keen eye on as the race progresses to see how much they can recover in this first stint. Just victims of a slight misjudgment at turn 1 at the start of the race. Well, not a slight misjudgment, Dixie get absolutely nailed. And I think Shiv get caught up in that as well after the collision. And Dixie through on Lukolas. Oh, I think that's Lukolas had to take a pit stop. So possible damage, and see, this is where the race recovery could come. Dixie and Shiv at the moment, I think, have had quite a good time of getting through some traffic that's picked up some early damage and keeping themselves in a little pocket of clean air to just pump the laps in. They showed in the qualifying what kind of pace they had here. And I'd like to see just the two oldies up in the podium, honestly. I'm a bit biased. And Skarma's up there as well. He's almost an oldie. Mika Lando's there running well as well. So Skarma, championship leader, is looking pretty happy at the moment, setting himself right back into rhythm. In fact, do you know something, chat? I've not even brought up any thing on the screen to see energy or that. I was that fixated in the race. I do apologise. As we filter down Shiv now onto the back of Matty. So Matty's, this is where it gets tricky now. His soft is dead. He was obviously hoping for the early safety car, and he does not want to extend that because lap 6 and onwards he's very much in puncture territory. But that soft is hanging on for its life at this point. And here comes Shiv. DRS will open down the inside into turn 1, and then Shiv will be hoping that his teammate follows him through if he can up into turn 2. Let's see Rob's energy situation, so he definitely can. If Rob uses a bit now, gets tucked up nice and behind Matty, he definitely has an opportunity. Although Matty's got the DRS, Rob has a much bigger energy advantage. So here we go, the DRS will open, and you see the gain in speed here. Matty's not got much of an answer. Rob will go to the inside line, and then 2 DRS zones. That's 2 McLarens through, although Matty trying to fight this one. He's going to stay in the inside line, but he eventually gets out it. And that's Shiv up to P6, Rob up to P7. Dixie now 5 seconds off of this pack as well, and gaining, taking a good couple of tenths of sector out of them. And we got a nice little battle here brewing between Mika Lando and Leon Evans. So maybe one to watch. And that was Leon. You see him take that wider liner. I think that's him trying to open his exit just to get a better run. Pick up the accelerator a little bit earlier than Mika and try and get there on the DRS. So not quite that time around. And where is, so there's Matty, as you see, lap 5, that's the soft really starting to fall off now. So I think Matty's got to box. Will he go to the hard and try and go to the end? We've got an Alfa Romeo off the track at the start of sector 2. He's making his way back on though, as you can see from the track map. So is Matty going to pit this lap? Yes, he is. So could he go hard to the end? I think it's possible from this point. Still though, it's a monumental aspect. Matty is pretty good on the tyres. He is good at making unorthodox strategies work, so let's see how it plays out. We get that Alpha Tauri off again. Good evening to everybody that's joining us. And here comes Leon Evans and Mika Lando. Is he going to be able to make games? We'll go on board the Leon. Not going to get close enough. Mika Lando seems to have a good bit of straight line speed in that Alpine. Good evening to those that have joined. Shiv picks up the first time penalty of the race for multiple warnings, so that is not going to help him in his endeavour of recovery. So just to remind those, it was Dixie and Shiv on P1, P2 at the start of the race. Big contact between Dixie and Lucas. I think Shiv got caught up in it as well. Put Dixie straight to the back, and Shiv just a little bit off his teammate, and it's been a bit of a recovery for them over the first 6 laps. And we're having an Alpha and we're having a really bad time further down the order. And Rip now all over the back of Skarma, so maybe this is the battle to watch. So there is little pocket fights all over the track at the moment, and this is not the characteristics of Singapore. So let's see if here Leon can now get through Mika Lando. He is gaining, but not enough. I think if Leon really wants to make a move, it's going to be a big lunge in the brakes. We have a yellow flag, sector 3. I think that's for Buckle at the back. And Buckley retires from the session in the pitch. Does Leon fancy a lunge? Not this time around. And let's go to this Rip Skarma battle. Of course, the hard to medium strategy is the optimum strategy for the race, but that does not mean the hard tire later in the stint will not work, because of course, as you've seen, you can get overtakes done here, but it's maybe not as simple as other circuits. No, and a little battle brewing further back. K-Pax against Matty. We've also got Luco last in this one as well, the two Aston Martin boys further down the order. And has Dixie picked up some damage? No, appears not. Just a little bit off the pace at the moment. Two McLaren boys absolutely steamrolling through. And I will say this, if this is how McLaren intend on working, it's going to be critical for other teams to start working together. Because Shiv and Rob are using each other very well at the moment to bring themselves slowly but surely up into this fight. So I'm intrigued to see Shiv he's teetering about that 1.5 seconds mark. I think he's burning through the energy. He's trying to drag them both up to the back of this DRS zone. Needs to get it done in this back sector somewhere. I hope there's a little bit of contact between others and he's creeping ever closer to that DRS zone now. And look at Shiv, he's in a lovely little rhythm at the moment. And here we go, he's got the DRS, so they join the train of P2. Skarma now leading the way, so we've just formed a 5-car train, or 6-car train, sorry, for that second spot in the podium. And now, while Skarma sits there, this gives guys like Dixie and that, this is their chance to really start to use their energy, get the tyres fired up and close that distance. So, Skarma's still leading this train. We've got Mika, Lando, Leon, sorry for the small delay there in the comms chat. I just had my son come through. That's the hard thing about doing it solo. But Skarma leads that way. He's just managed to break the DRS to Rip, so could this put Rip under pressure from these medium runners? Oh, and that big lag spike. That is horrible. We've got yellow flag sector 1, it's an Aston Martin round. I think it's Matty. He came out in his hard compound tyres and I think just a cold tyre. Oh, and who's that that's been round? Mika Lando has a spin. And the Alpine man is going to have to flick the rear of the car right round, do a full 360. And he has lost a monumental amount of time to the pack ahead, about 10 seconds. And he's going to release his teammate. Very fair there. Mika Lando, get off your energy. Stop driving about with your energy on. That's why you spin. Press X or whatever your energy button is. Unless he's got a bug. But There we go, he's got it off now, so he might find any of the car settle down, and that's Dale at the moment, off the last corner. Not too affected there, nobody too far away. So let's go back to this battle further up the road. We've got ripped back in DRS Skarma. And this little train now becomes 4. No, sorry, 5. Counting's not very good today, chat. Not very good counter. Oh, and a Ferrari's had a moment. Is that K-Pax? Yes, it is. Oh, he's got a puncture. The rear tyre has absolutely exploded now. Could that trigger a safety car? Or a VSC? Don't think so. He's having to crawl into the pits. You see it there. If you look to the bottom right hand side of the screen, that rear left is gone completely. Finnegan cruising at the moment, 4.9 seconds up the road from Skarma on that hard compound tyre, and that will probably be the more favoured tyre at this point in the race now. You'll be starting to feel it on the medium. That was a great shot of Michelando flashing past the wall there. Good sense of speed even from the game. So the train stays as is for now. Is anybody willing to have a right good go at somebody here before the pit stops come up? Maybe a track position pre-pit stop is a tasty proposition for some. Leon Evans all over the back of Rip. He's looking pushy as Leon. Oh, but that understeer's going to cost him. Is that going to give Shiv the opportunity now attacking? Shiv is gaining here. Gaining and gaining and gaining up down the run to turn 4. Is he going to slip one down the inside? He's going to try it. He's late on the brakes. There's a small bit of contact. And Leon's been pushed over the road. So he's going to get the elbows out and defend it off from Shiv. And Shiv has to accept to stay in P5 at the moment. But goodbye racing there between the two. Elbows out, but I think that's on the limit. And good clean racing. Hard, but good racing. So 11 laps done, we're a third of the way into the race, or a little over a third of the way. Finnegan leads the way, 5.6 seconds ahead. And Skarma in P2, he's on that medium compound time, we've got that 4 tenths ahead, and then it's an ISO train down to Rob in P6. And who's that? Is that Rob going in? No, Shiv into the pit. So this is Shiv pulled the trigger. He's in now. He will go on to the hard compound tyre, and that should be him all the way to the end of the race. Unless he goes for a medium and then he looks to be doing a medium soft. And that appears to be the way he's going. So Dixie will go through. Up to P6. But Shiv's got a lot of ground to make up now, and if Dixie really wants to put pressure on some of these guys, if he can start to get his elbows out after this and really put the brakes on their strategy, he could help recover himself some points. But Shiv on a definite 2-stop now. And of course with that penalty, he really needs to put the pace on. So the quiet spell in the race is upon us. It's going to be, as the pit stops come, the pack will open up and then we'll see them all diverge again, probably round about lap 20. Who's that filter off? I think that's Skarma away to the pits now. And Rob into the pits, also behind. Skarma onto the hards. Is Rob going the same strategy or this? Oh, so Rob's went for a mid-race soft. He's flipped the strategy on its head. And is this a ploy to get after Skarma? Skarma net P2 in the race, remember. Oh, and Shiv's got the undercut. Shiv is through and Skarma, of course, he needs to drive away now because he's got a pit stop to take. Oh, no, it's a big contact! What's the contact there between Shiv and Paul? Oh no! And now Rob goes through. Skarma's got to keep his head down now, it is what it is. He's still got a race to run. But was there contact or did Shiv just drop the car? So the gaps open up. Lukolas on the back of Skarma. On the older tyre, of course, so he's still to pit. Leon Evan pits now off his medium compound. And what's he off to? He's on to the hard compound. See where he comes out now in relevance to the pack. He's got going again. And Leon Evans, he's got a good little run here. I think Rob is going to get the jump. Leon Evans will be out not far behind, of course. He's got that tyre warm up face, so Rob will scamper off up the road. Oh, and shouts at another moment. Don't know if that was a moment with Marty or Shiv on his own. Oh, and he's had another. It's all been a disaster. Onto a race leader. Average lap time. That's a good question. I think they're lapping roughly in the 2 minutes. We will see here. No, it's not even that. They're lapping mid 145s, low 145s. There you go. .2 minutes, that's what they were running in the wet conditions. I am stupid. You're welcome. Anytime, so anytime. Any questions, just ask. And Shiv, I think he's had another spin further down the order. So Leon Evans has got through and Skarma. Shiv gets a time penalty for cutting corners. Oh, the poor lad. 3 times possible contact after a blinder of a recovery. Joyce. So this little 3-car battle is brewing. Leon, Skarma and Lukolas. We've got Rob a little bit up the road, but he went to the soft compound tyre, so Rob's going to have to pit again around lap 20, 19 or 20, then take the medium to the end. It's been interesting to see how that one works. So no movement yet in this little three-way battle. Other than that, chat, there is nothing else happening on track, so I'm as well just staying here for now. I'll keep an eye on the gaps and watch the timings. Hard compound tyres expect a pit stop in the next 3 to 5 laps. So Rob get that gap from Dixie from 9 seconds all the way down to 4. He is absolutely marching on in his soft compound tyre at the moment. But that's what he has to do. He's got to build as much of a gap in this tyre as he feasibly can. And of course Singapore, always that risk of a safety car. So I wonder how Dixie plays this. If he's smart, well, saying that, Rob's getting to the point where his tyre will drop off pretty quickly in the next lap or so. So if Dixie's still ahead, he probably doesn't want to yield, because if he's stuck behind Rob, if Rob's extending his soft a little bit, he will start to go much slower than that hard. And maybe just then he does not want to be behind him. So through the last corner goes Rob, 1.4 seconds now behind Dixie, but on to lap 4 of his soft compound tyre. So this is probably his last lap of good performance. Can he get through? That's the question. And if he can, is Dixie going to keep fighting him? That battle may continue. Dixie may feel that Rob's got a bit more pace for an extra few laps, so just go with him, which could be good for Dixie's strategy as well. But at the moment, Adam got a good enough gap, and he's got 60% energy. So I think this could be it for Rob, but he is eyeing up, and just look at the grip difference on the softs. He'll pull out and through he goes. DRS open. Quite an easy pass now, although Dixie, oh, I missed that there, is fighting it. They're trying to do a bit of wheel to wheel, but Rob gets the job done. And Dixie now needs to just use up his energy, I think. Stay with Rob, use that pace that he's got in that soft compound tyre for the next lap or so, and try and build a little bit of a gap to those behind. He's got a pit stop coming up in the next couple of laps, so he's got to be mindful of where that's going to slot him into the pack. But I think at this point he could be somewhere behind Matty. Oh, we got a little battle brewing further back. Here we go, Mika, Lando and Dale, another fight. This is what we like to see. Let's see if Mika Lando can get up close. Lucalas into the pits, so he's on to another medium compound tyre. He's done 18. What's happened there? Can Mika get through? And Dale is gaining here. We're going to see a swift move up the inside. Here he goes on the brakes. Mika Lando got himself back up to P7. And the points, recovering off that spin. So all is not lost just yet, but he probably will have to take another pit stop. Leon Evans gaining on Dixie. 1.7 Dixie into the pit, so that's him in for his medium compound tyre. The leaders have also pulled the trigger, so now Rob Wills takes over the lead of this race. Is there somebody having a moment further back? Dixie in, I think he will go to the medium compound tyre here. Yes, he does. And onwards we continue, so the race is now changed. Skarma leads the way. Finnegan out 2.8 seconds behind. Leon Evans up in P2. Rob Wills 5 seconds up the road now on his soft compound tyre. And Dixie's got himself out in P6, so he's done a good job on his hard. He's got to P6. Now he just needs to see if he can close any of that gap that is ahead. And now we should see the pack hopefully converge in the next few laps. I've got this little battle here between Mika Lando and Shiv. So still 12, 13 laps to go in this race, so a lot of things could happen still. A lot of opportunity for drivers ahead, and a lot of opportunity for somebody to make a mistake. So Rob Wills into the pits, off his soft compound tyre. I'm going to stay with Rob here because I'm intrigued to see where he filters out. I think he is going to be comfortably ahead of Dixie on that strategy. But Rip will go through. Dixie coming off the last corner. Dixie, maybe about 5-6 seconds away from Rob. By the time Rob gets the tyre fired up. Maybe a bit more than that actually. Yep, 5 seconds, 5.1. So Finnegan gets through in Skarma. Oh, that's quite an unorthodox place as well. So Finnegan is through. He's 6.6 seconds now away from Leon Evans. Leon Evans can go to the end of the race here. So gaps all open up. Mika Lando, Matty, Shiv, a little bit of fighting down the orbit. Shelby Slug sets the fastest lap of the race. He's down there in P14 at the moment, but he is hooked up behind K-Pax. Oh, what's happened there to Mika? Mika Lando, oh, I think he's just missed his braking point there. And off the escape road he goes. Look at last now, 1.1 seconds behind Dixie, so maybe a little battle brewing here, although Dixie up at 75% energy, so he really wants to be using that now. Yeah, here he goes, starting to burn the top. Because Rob Wills has pretty much nothing, and there is opportunity ahead. Oh, and Red Bull out, so safety car could be a safety car. VSC for now could pull the full safety car. No, I think it's going to stay a VSC. So will Leon or Skarma, if this stays out long enough, will they use this to jump in for a medium compound tyre cheap stop? Or are they happy to go to the end? We're going to continue on. Oh, and Rip got drive-through. Rip ahead of Rob gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC, and he's going to serve that straight away. So through he goes. He's only going to lose 3 positions, and he can recover. Pace has been good. So Rob now has a 10-second gap and a tyre advantage with 9 laps to go. Can he close the distance and get himself up to the podium? Him and Leon set to have a very good day in the office. We've got an Alpha Tauri now off at one of the straight escape roads. And I think that was EOJ. So, we've had a bit of a lull chat, not much happening now. Everybody's just kind of running the race. Let's see Rob, he's getting there. I think Rob, with the way he's gaining, might get Skarma maybe in the last 2 laps of the race. Maybe. Could be a juicy one. So 6.2 seconds. Plenty of laps to go at the rate he's gaining. Rob Wills will be on the gearbox of Skarma in about 4 laps to... Oh no, what's happened to Skarma? Skarma's at a moment, he falls down the order. He's going to fall behind Rob. And Dixie's going to be much closer now. So there could be a sniffy, a P4 here for Dixie. Oh, and poor Paul, championship leader, just need to keep his head down now. He's still going to get at least a top 6 finish here. So Rob, I think, doesn't get the job done, but gets the job done in Skarma. Unfortunately, Skarma having that moment, taking himself kind of out of the battle, because I'd like to have seen that one brew and see how it played out between Robin and Skarma, but these things happen sometime. But the battle for the lead is now absolutely on with 7 laps to go. It's Finnegan v Leon. Finnegan with a much better tyre advantage now, and I think it's not if but when Finnegan gets through. So Finnegan in range yet again, he's in the DRS, so is Lukolas on Dixie, and Dixie also on Skarma, so battles brewing everywhere. Finnegan unable to get close enough, but he will certainly close the distance on Leon, down into turn 1, can he stay on the back of him? Up on the run to turn 5, and then up to turn 6, get this move done and drive off into the distance to take home. It would be a very good victory indeed. DRS opens, he gets on the energy. Is Leon being defensive? Not so much. Finnegan's gaining and gaining and gaining, but I don't think he's going to get close enough this lap around. Now he needs to sit in, make sure he stays behind and close enough to get that move done. But here comes Dixie now in Skarma DRS. Is he going to use any energy? Not this time. So a little 3-car battle plus the battle at the front. I'm going to watch this because Finnegan not quite got the job done just yet. Can Leon hang on like this for 6 laps? That's the question. It is a tall order indeed. Oh, and Dixie, is he getting through in Skarma? Not quite. Skarma's going to defend this one off. Has to slot back in behind. And this is a good old little fight here. And we have a yellow flag. It is a Haas. Is the Haas out? No, it is not. So let's go back to this battle because I think Dixie's going to be coming through here in Skarma. Oh, and he's dropped the car! No! Oh, he just tried to throttle up too much. Oh no, Adam. Nevertheless, it's going to be a safe P6, but nah, what could have been? The Cub really upset his car there, but here comes Lukolas now. Can he get through in Skarma? Oh, that big lag spike, I do not like that at all, it's horrible. Finnegan still trying, and Leon unable to get through, although Leon goes a bit deep there, and this could be the moment. This could be it. Leon, though, he gets a good exit on his hard compound tyre. Last year's champion up against one of the rookies of P0, but Finnegan, he showed good strength since he came here. And really putting our defending champion under a lot of pressure here. And Leon will want this one. I am sure of it. I've spoke to him enough now. He will want to win this one. And really lay a stamp down. But they continue on for another lap still, as is Leon from Finnegan. And is Finnegan going to send one here? He is gaining and gaining and gaining. Leon is not going to defend it too hard. Finnegan using his head. He's playing the long game here. That's a driver confident that the race is going to come to him. Nicolas and Skarma, nothing happened in that battle there. It was just very close. I thought I would jump to it just in case. Can Nicolas get through on Paul? Paul's hard tyre probably now is starting to go beyond the good side of his grip levels. It will still be okay, but much harder to attack and defend rigorously. Speaking of rigorously, look how close Finnegan is to the back of Leon Evans' gearbox here. Leon Evans is being hunted. And here we go, Finnegan down the inside into turn 1. He gets all over the curb. Now Leon Evans might be able to hang on to this and have another go down the back straight. Finnegan has a bit of a moment off of turn 3. So Finnegan's going to be right there. He just needs to hold the... Leon's going to be right there. He just needs to hold his line. Get on the energy, and can he get back through now on Finnegan? If he can get back through now, I think Finnegan may just drive away as Leon Evans going to try and send that up there. Not quite this time around. And Finnegan now through into P1, he retakes control, the lead of the race. And I think now with the tyre he is on, he should just drive off into the distance. Nicolas has eventually got through in Skarma, up into P4. But it's been a very good drive for both Leon and Rob. Rob making a very unorthodox 2-stop work, and Leon on the flip strategy. Showing that you don't always need to go with the norm. It's rare that it works out, but for today, both of them, it has certainly been the case. And Nicolas now has picked up a penalty, so that could be Skarma Sniffy, a P4. 3 laps to go. If he can hang on to the gap, he would have done enough to get P4 back off Nicolas. Let's take a chat. So I am back, chat. On board with Finnegan, 2 laps to go. 1.8 seconds ahead now, so as I thought, he's managed to get himself up the road a bit. Dixie closing down Skarma, but maybe a little too late. Should have been a recovery to P4, I think, for Adam, with Nicolas' penalty. But these things happen sometimes. Skarma 2.5 behind. 2 laps to go. He may just lose that penalty gap. So Finnegan onto the backside of the circuit for the penultimate time. 2.3 seconds a gap. He is cruising now, just bringing the car home. That's all he has to do. Leon Evans, I think, will still be pretty happy with a P2 today. He's made his strategy work nicely. I think Rob Wills coming back to the podium as well. He'll be very happy. That probably puts Rob in control of the championship with the little gap he's got in Skarma. So on to the last lap we go, and I don't think we're going to see any battles. Maybe Matty v Rip, or we get something here. Matty gets on the DRS, not this time around. Well, Matty be able to get the job done. We'll keep an eye look to where Finnegan is. He's on the backside of the circuit now. Just in the guts, middle of sector 2. So make sure we flick to him for the end of the race. But I want to see if Matty's able to get through and rip here. Oh, he's got a much better run off the last corner. So onto their last lap now. The DRS will open. Matty's going to have to go to the racing line. Can he lob it round the long way? There's a small bit of contact there. So one more opportunity I think for Matty, and this is it. And he gets a much better run off of here. The DRS will open. They've got to be careful of contact. Rip is trying to defend this one with all his might. They're going to get the squeeze on, and Matty's going to have to go the long way. Who's going to be able to defend this one? They're getting the squeeze on, a 3-second time penalty, but Matty's not going to give up. He's going to stay on the inside. Almost a bit of contact here. Matty gets on the energy early, and Rip able to defend it off. I think Matty, all that wheel spin, although don't count him out just yet. Finnegan wins the race, but I'm staying in this battle. I do apologise, chat. And Matty backs out at the moment, so it's Finnegan P1, Leon Evans P2. Rob gets himself back up to a podium, but this little tussle between these two is going to take us all the way to the checker flag. Dixie picked up a penalty, but he did eventually get to the back of Skarma. Would he have got through? I don't think so, but let's stay on this one because I don't think it's over. Is Matty going to try and send one down the inside? Not this time around. Rip's going to go a little bit deep yet again. So Matty's got the run. Oh, a small bit of lag there. I don't know if they've seen that as well. Oh, Rip! He's trying to defend it. He's in the wall. Matty has pulled him into braking deep, and he has collected the wall. Matty gets through to P8 in the end, and Rip will come home for P9. There's a bit of a smashed up win because of the lap last moment. Mika Land will come home for P10, and Shiv, well, he will come home for what will be a P11, K-Pax and P12, and EOJ's already came home in the P13. Rob Wills gets the driver of the day for the game. I probably could agree with that. So let's see if I can get Leon and Rob in for a quick chat. I've got some things to do, so I'll try and get them in and get an interview as quick as possible. Let me find Rob and then get Leon Evans. Let me just double check the gamer tag. $19.92. Thought it was that. Just like to double check so I don't get the wrong player. We'll get them both in for a quick chat. Good evening, Rob.
Evening.
Good evening, Leon. So, I'm in a little bit of a rush.
To get... All right, fair enough.
Is Finnegan coming first?
I don't know how to add him because he's on.
Yeah, Xbox.
Something of that nature.
Yeah, don't think we can unless he's got a PlayStation account on a PlayStation app.
Ah, right, okay.
So yeah, I've got a couple of things I need to rush away and do, but I still want to talk to you before we go because the two of you had a very good day in the office. We'll start with yourself, Rob. A very unorthodox strategy, not one you see very often, and it's not very often in this game that an unorthodox strategy pays out, but today it seemed to be just what you needed.
Yeah, because I ruined qualifying for messing about. I was trying to change tyre pressures and something else, and then just thought, crap, I'm running out of time, quickly get on track, and then went, oh, tyres.
Oops.
So that ruined that, and then I was 12th, were I think?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, you were 12th.
It said the two-stop was only 3 seconds slower over the whole race. So I decided to start on mediums, which opened me up then to either do a two-stop or go to hards, depending how good or bad first stint had gone.
Yep.
With the gap I'd got, I was like, sod it. Well, me and Chiv were doing the same thing. He went mediums to go softs at end.
Yeah.
And I said, well, sod it, I'll go softs because we've got a massive gap. Let's just go for it and see what happens. So I did. Because I thought, on hards, I'm not going to catch up the gap that I'm that far behind anyway, and I've not much to lose behind me, so it was just worth a go.
A bit of a race for two halves for you as well, Rob, because you probably won't mind me saying this, your first stint in the mediums didn't look your most comfortable stint, but then once you kind of settled in with the softs and went to that medium at the end, you looked just as quick as the leaders on track.
Yeah, I weren't particularly quick at start, which is why, I don't know if you noticed, Shiv passed me because I let him through. I decided at that point he was quicker, there's no point me holding him up, and I was trying to, so then I just ran behind him. And I think I was doing a lot of thinking about strategies and where to be and not really fully paying attention to be getting the lap times out of it.
Nah, fair.
So, yeah, I wasn't on it that first stint. I was kind of figuring out where we were going to be, what we were going to do, and then once I were on my own, I just kind of knuckled into driving.
Ah, fair enough. So, a race won in the second stint. Yeah, I know. I was just going to say that. Did you? That was my next question. Did you feel you had a chance of getting that P2?
Yes, because the gap was coming down, but then I realised that it wasn't coming down quick enough. It was probably only coming down about 8/10 a lap, and I needed about 1.5. So it ended, I just settled. But then he had a moment last lap, or second to last lap, and I was like, ooh, maybe I still can. But no, I gave up at the end because it was 3.5, 4 seconds, I think, by end.
And I think off that it puts you back in the lead of the championship with Scarman finishing P5 as well, Rob?
Yes, it should do, because what will I get? 30, 25, 21, 17, 14. Yeah, I'll gain 7 points, so I should be 5 clear of him, I think.
So, is this your season again?
No, this is me just plodding around and taking it as it comes for now.
Oh, I like that, downplay it.
A lot of quick people around. We've had 5 different winners in 5 races. So it's going to be a season of trying to be consistent, picking up whatever you can pick up, and go.
Is that literally what it's been? 5 races, 5 winners?
Well, sorry, we've had 4, and if you count the first sprint as a race, we've had 5. 4 full races and 1 feature have all had different winners.
That's impressive. What a season it's shaping up to be.
Yes.
So anyways, Rob, a very good job from P12 in the grid. You get driver of the day from the game. You probably would have been my driver of the day today as well, if you give it points for it, honestly. I think just because it was a very unorthodox strategy, and you made it work.
Yes, thank you.
On to yourself, Leon. Nice to be speaking
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, indeed.
And you flipped a flip strategy. From P10 in the grid, it's a risky one. It's the same as Rob. I feel like it's a risk. Were you always intending just to do the one stop, just medium to hard, Leon?
Yeah, pretty much. Depended on whether there was a safety car in the first stint or not, really. But I thought I wasn't going to have the pace advantage to the leaders to get past them if I copied their strategy. So I thought just try something different, see how it goes, really.
And in the end, just like Rob, that strategy for you has worked an absolute treat. You seem to be the two that gained the most out of your strategy in the race, so I think that says everything about the way it was to go in that race. Maybe unorthodox was the way, just because of the nature of the race.
Yeah, could well be. Yeah, it's well, if you start that far back, you might as well try something unorthodox, really, haven't you? Because it's not an easy track to overtake, is it? So.
And that now, Leon, will put you into second in the championship if my calculations are correct, or there or thereabouts. So you,
yeah, I think so,
yourself, Rob and Skarma are going to be very, very close in points going into next week. I think it could be something like 6 points separating the top three as we move into round 5. A tasty championship brewing up. You're looking forward to the rest of the season? You're going to keep up some momentum?
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. Like Rob said, there's a lot of drivers equally matched on pace, really. So you just got to be consistent and try and pick up as much points as you can. The podium here and there won't help, or won't do any harm, will it, I suppose?
No, definitely not. And yeah, I think driving like you did today and just kind of keeping your nose clean and picking up the scraps where maybe people are making some mistakes or things are happening, I think that's going to be dividends in how the season plays out. I think drivers that are able to drive like that are naturally going to end up coming to the forefront of the championship.
Yeah, like they say in it, that you've got to finish first, haven't you?
That's
So
it.
that's just keep my nose clean in the early laps and take it from there, really. That's my aim every week.
So very good job today, Leon. A solid 8 positions gained with a flip strategy. Yourself and Rob, 2 best gainers of the race, and you both drove yourself to the podium. So a very, very, very good job to the two of yous. Rob, quickly, where are we next week?
We are off to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, another street circuit. Oh, you're putting your drivers through hell. I love it.
This is the green version of the F1 calendar. We're travelling the right way around the world once, and that's it.
You hear that, F1?
We're saving the polar bears.
I like that. Even we're saving the E-Bears.
Yeah, you were right, Chris. There's 5 points covering 3 drivers now.
Wow. So that means Jeddah is going to be one to watch, because if it's as tail twisting as Singapore, then who knows who wins that race come next week. So until then, that is me. They will be live again tomorrow, I'm sure, with Monaco and OTL. I'm sure that will be very entertaining. So until then, we will speak to you very soon. And tune in for P0 next week, because Jeddah will not be one to be missed. So see you very soon, peoples.